This is the Azimut 50 flybridge. It's a very stylish boat and it's well worth having a good look at. But before we go on board and do the full tour, I just want to show you underneath, because as it's out of the water, we can see a few things we don't normally get to see. First of all, we get to see just how big these boats are when you stand next to them. They really tower over you. You can get a real impression of the size of them. But the thing I wanted to show you was, this is a conventional shaft drive boat. I often mention these when we're inside the boat. We don't often get to see the outside of them. So, and you've got shafts that come out, supported by that, which is a P bracket, propellers on the end. And the advantage of this is just a very simple system with very little to go wrong. So low maintenance, low cost from a servicing point of view, and dead straightforward. And then you have rudders on the back that actually steer the boat. You can see the other propeller on the other side exactly the same. This one also has the high-low bathing platform, and again we can see how the mechanism for that works. So this is so that this will lower down into the water. You can put a tender on there, of course, drop it in the water and launch the tender very simply. And these are trim tabs. They don't look like trim tabs because normally we see tabs and they're like a flat plane that comes up and down, but these are zip wakes. What these do is they have like a blade that comes out this way. The advantage with that is they're very fast acting. It means that you've got very good response to your tab controls. What they do is basically level the boat. So if she's leaning a bit to one side because of the wind or loading, you can straighten it back up when it's planing. And the other thing we can have a quick look at while we're here is the bow thruster, another thing I mentioned. And you can see that is on the front here. So that's a propeller that just helps to push the boat sideways when you're docking. Anyway, that's the underneath. As I say, worth having a look at while we can. This, incidentally, this black paint, that's anti-fouling paint. That's kind of sacrificial. You repaint it every year and it stops weed growing on the bottom of the boat. Underneath that, it's polished GRP like this. Excellent. Let's go and have a look on board and we'll do the full tour. These are built in Italy and it is a very stylish boat, as Italian boats tend to be, so well worth seeing. So now you can see that high-low platform. It's slightly deployed. This is what it looks like from the top. You can see the rams for it there. And you can see the back of the boat. Those little round fellas are underwater lights. Anyway, let's head on board and I'll show you what it's all about. Some nice sturdy deck gear on here. These are winches, they're power winches. The button for it is down there. And it means that when your stern to berths, you can put a line to the quay, put it around there and winch yourself nicely against the quay. A couple of other things that we've got here as well, actually. In here is an ice maker. And another thing this one has is a drawer fridge over here, so you can keep your drinks out here. You don't have to go inside to get them. That's quite neat. And then a big overhang, so you've got plenty of shade here. We'll start on the inside, do the full tour of the inside, and then we'll work our way out. So here we go. Now what I like about this one is the colour scheme. I love this dark wood. It's a satin finish rather than high gloss. You've got the dark carpets and it's offset by this very light upholstery. Gives a great contrast. It looks fantastic. I like that very much. Bar area is over here. There's a TV. Now this will drop away, so you touch a button and that drops out of sight. But another clever touch is this, because this is like a coffee table. You can sit around here, put your drinks on there. But if you want to dine inside, then we can press a button. Now we have it at dining height, but you might think that's a touch small for dining on, and you'd be right, except for the fact that what you can now do is open that like so, and then the whole thing slides, and there you go, dining table. That's very neat. Let's go on a bit further. Now this has the galley up here, so we've got fridges, mealer cooking, so you've got the hob and you've got the oven underneath. Cutlery drawers in here, and this has got, you might be able to see it, the Azimut logoed cutlery, so that's very nice. That slides away like so, and then this over here is the dishwasher down underneath. And then there is storage in places like this and in places like this. And actually, I've just remembered there's one other thing I haven't shown you here, which is if we head back here, your crockery is rather cunningly hidden away in here. How nice is that? Again, all Azimut branded. Very nice. I like little touches like that. It's just detailing, it's wonderful. And these are switches for that high-low table, for the TV, and your light switches. Let's press on a bit further forward. There's more storage over on this side. And then your helm position is here. So these seats, you can lift these bolsters up if you prefer to stand, but this is nice. These drop down so that when you're sat down, you've got somewhere to put your feet on there. This is down. It's a really comfortable place to drive or navigate the boat from. And then it is an all-glass cockpit. That means that there's no conventional engine instrumentation. It's all these screens that display whatever you want, so radar or charts or engine instrumentation. You set those up however you like. I like the way they've done the buttons on here. That's very nice. That's an individual Volvo Penta screen for the engines. And then over here you've got your throttles, and there is a joystick on this one. Now that normally links to IPS pods. We don't have those on here. As I mentioned, it's conventional shaft drive, so that links the gears and those engines with the bow thruster, so it works like an IPS. If you push it to the side, it will actually push the boat sideways or forwards or spin it, so it answers your controls by using those shafts and the bow thruster. Very clever. Let's head on down a bit further. So we'll drop down here. What they've done with this is they've made this into like a utility area. So in here you've got more freezer space. You can have a fridge there if you prefer. And then underneath that is a washing machine. And then there's storage in places like this and this and here and so on. Another thing I quite like is the fact you've got rails dotted around. So there's a rail here, for example, so as you come down, there's another rail then here. You don't often find that. I think that's a nice touch. So we will head forward first of all. This is your main guest VIP cabin. You'll notice these heaters dotted around the place. These are not normally used on the boats in use. It's just because this one is ashore at the moment and it's winter, so these are just keeping a little bit of warmth in the boat permanently. They run through the 240 volt systems. They just plug into the socket, as you can see over there. So ignore those. That's why those are there. There's a wardrobe in behind there, and then similar thing over here. Storage up behind. And some pretty decent sized windows as well. The circular ones will open, so you can get a bit of fresh air through here if you want. And then in behind here, you've got a doorway. That is a doorway to give ensuite access to the day heads, which is this one here. So this is day heads during the day, and at night, as I say, ensuite access through there, but also cabin 3 uses this one as well. You've got a sink in here. There is a separate shower stall in there. And then the lower course, and that is that door through from that forward cabin. And on the other side of the boat then, you've got bunk beds in here, adult sized beds, and big wardrobe and more storage. So they've really utilised that rather well. So that's for your guests or your kids or whoever you want to use that one for. And if we head on back again, this will bring us back to the owner's cabin. So this is full beam of the boat. You've got big windows in here. Of course, there are blinds that drop down, so you've got privacy there if you want it. And the same on the other side. You'll notice these little circular windows again, either side. And again, that's so you can open those and get ventilation through here. This is all storage across here. And then on this side, you have your big wardrobe and a load more storage down there. Very nice. Very nicely done. I like that. Let's go on back around a bit further. This has its own ensuite, as you'd expect. That's in here. And a big shower. And then, again, your opening portholes, your loo, and bits of storage dotted around in places like that. And a loo brush. Excellent. Okay, let's come out of here. We'll take a look at the decks, and we will take a look at the engine space. So back out through here and around. This brings us back up to the saloon. And I think what we will do is we'll head around to the front of the boat first of all, which is this way. One thing I didn't mention is it has opening windows, one at the helm and one right next to the galley, and in fact they're almost impossible to see, but you can see them just here, so they're completely flush, but that drops in and slides back, so you get plenty of ventilation when it's open, but when it's closed it's virtually invisible. I think that's very clever. Okay, right up onto the bow, so seating here and then some pads up on the front. That's a hatch over that forward cabin, and then your anchor handling kit is up here on the front. Let's go and take a look at the flybridge. This is the window that opens. Again, it's almost impossible to see actually. You can probably just see the outline of it there, but that's right next to the galley, so you can get plenty of ventilation there if you want it. Let's come right back and around, and then these steps will take us up to the flybridge. So what have we got here? Well, there's a hard top on this one, and you can see it's got the big opening section, so on a nice day you can have it open and get plenty of sunshine, or slide that across and have the shade if it's very hot. Helm position is up here. Again, you've got your throttles, another of those joystick controllers, and then your twin screens there, and your Volvo instrumentation in the centre. The sunbathing is up just there, and you've got a nice table you can sit around for dining. Now back here, Azimut say that you can utilise this how you want, so you can have it completely open, you can have it with seating as we've got here, you could have sun pads on here if you want to. You can set this up pretty much how you like when you order the boat. Also up here is your wet bar, so you've got your griddle is there, storage underneath, and there's another fridge. So each area, the saloon, the cockpit, this area, they've all got their own fridges. Let's come right to the back. That, for a 50-foot boat, is a pretty good size. You can see how it's got the teak here. You can have it across here as well, of course, if you want to. Quite like the finishes on here as well, so the way they've used this metallic silver here just finishes that off. It's very nice. Very nice indeed. Let's go and look at engines. So, the background here, again, nice little touches like the stainless steel that they've put on here. That's for the drain, so any water that gets on here, like rainwater, just drains away out of the boat. And this drops down, and the reason for that is because with that closed, and then you have a canopy that you can put on that goes all the way around the back of here. In fact, you can see the track for it. It slides into there, and that means this area can be enclosed if you wanted to. Okay, engines, they're underneath here. Now in here are a pair of Volvo Penta D11 725 engines. Now they're giving the boat a top speed of over 30 knots actually. She's about 31, 32 knots, which is very impressive. And in fact, these are on a V-drive. Having said the conventional shaft drive, I'm almost right. They do have the shafts, but what they've done with this is mounted the engines fairly well back, put the gearboxes on the front, and that sends the power out and then through a V and down, and then those are those shafts that we saw coming out of the boat underneath. In fact, that's where they go through. And there's pipes on there because they're water cooled where the stern glands are as they go through the boat. Same on the other side. Again, you can see the shaft going back down underneath the engine. Generator is in here as well, and you've got things like the exhaust systems and that kind of thing in here. Range on this one, I'm going to guess 300, 350 miles at cruising speed, something like that. That's where this sort of boat normally is. So that is the engine space. Okay, and I think I might finish off up at the helm today. Yeah, that was very comfortable. So that is the Azimut 50 flybridge. Huge thanks to Azimut UK for organising that tour for me, and I put a link to those guys in the description. So if you want any more information, you can get in touch with them. And as ever, thanks very much to you for watching. We'll catch you on another one very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.